well, how can failure be a success? It's a matter of perspective. Because what one person sees as a failure, another will see as a success. Or what you see as a failure now will be seen as a success later, and vice versa. Take this smoke, for example. Perfect example, God. This smoke is a failure because it's choking us right now and it's coming right into my face. But you know what it succeeds at? Keeping the mosquitoes away. There's always a side to something. Or what if it so chokes us that we have to go inside? And then by going inside, we notice that the rice is boiling over on the stove, or whatever we have in the oven is catching fire. We would never have known that until we experience it. That's the whole point. The reason you're feeling something as a failure now is because of what you're seeing and what you're not seeing. It has no determination of what is right or wrong. It's pointing to what is right or wrong as a greater journey. But your destination of where you happen to be right here and now on the GPS of your life and your soul's pattern has nothing to do with the journey itself. It's just a point on a journey. That's nothing more. How can success be a failure? You know, the first 2 or 3 years that I expanded my business or reading for people, face to face, going on the road, going to different conventions, it's really, really fun. But one thing that I always channeled was every blessing is a curse and every curse is a blessing. Case in point number 2, I came down with severe autoimmune disease, Lyme disease, a bunch of other health problems that has lasted for over a decade. It's been like 12, 13 years now. That was the biggest curse of my life. Misery, like you wouldn't believe. Estrangement from family and friends, feeling lonely, having nowhere to run to anymore. I had been running my whole life, and I never realized that until I hit that dead end. I wanted to die. I wanted to stop living. I started hating everybody and everything. Going back to what I was saying earlier, how hate and love are connected. If I truly didn't care, if I truly stopped loving, I would feel nothing. Numb. Nothing matters. But it did matter. It mattered more and more and more. I just didn't know which way to go. But that's what I had to feel in order to know later, looking back, absorbing it, experiencing it. You know, people cannot really talk from anything outside of experience. Even an education, an indoctrination itself is an experience. Because I know some people are going to say, what do you mean? You can do or say things or study things that you don't directly experience. True, but that study itself is an experience, is it not? You went to the classes, you met the people, you congregated, you schemed. What's the other word? When you like form a social clique.
Interact.
It's a little deeper than that. Like interact, or you socialize, you get in with that club. That's a lot of academics and elites are like that. They're very there's that bias. The more that you study something, the more that you think you're right, but it's actually the opposite way. People who really know things will never admit they know things. I'm the first one to say, the more I learn, the less I know, which is true. And I've noticed that things that I learn, I unlearn them later, because the more I learn, the more paradigms are broken. The more I shift my perspective in realizing what I had learned or what I knew before was limited. Not necessarily wrong or right, correct or incorrect, just a different phase, a different orientation for how we determine what is correct or incorrect. That's actually more important than what is true or false. How you align your compass to recognize what is true and what is false. That's much more important than the actual determination of true or false. on whatever thermostat you use. Whatever thermometer you are matters more than what it reads. You ever think about it that way? Sorry.
Doesn't it good to learn things and apply it to things? Isn't it good to be aware of things?
Absolutely,
Why do you have to unlearn them?
because you have new perspective. Let's say you live as an earthworm. So what you learn is dig deep as far as you can, never see the light of day. That determines your survival. All you have to do is eat and poop. That's the way to be. So if an earthworm becomes the best earthworm they possibly can be, they've accomplished nirvana, their own perfect truth. Okay? Now you die as an earthworm, you come back as a chicken. Everything you learned, everything you experienced is not applicable to being a chicken. Digging as far as you can into earth is the fastest way to die as a chicken. So what was true is now false. Do you see what I mean? So the best thing to do is to expand your paradigm, to learn what truth is as an earthworm, to learn what truth is as a chicken, to learn what truth is as a human being, to learn what truth is beyond a human being. This gives your soul much more growth and power and understanding, which connects you more with the greatness and the oneness in everybody else that exists. That is the actual gem. It's a great question to ask. I've asked that all throughout my life too. And at those times that I've asked it, I didn't get the answers that I thought I needed. But getting no answer was the best answer because it propelled me in a certain direction that I learned from, that I absorbed from, and I interacted with, and I integrated with. And the best part about it, it doesn't apply on my next step, my next iteration. Whatever I learn in this life is going to be unlearned in another time and space, another iteration of it. That's actually a great thing to bring up because it's one of the biggest misconceptions in the love and light community, the spiritual movement that we have right now, is this whole notion of Earth is a school and we're here to learn. Okay, not really. You can, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't actually matter if you learn here or not. You have to experience here. That's all. That's all you need. Because what you experience here is not going to apply where else you go. Where we came from, do you think any of that, well, some of it does, but do you think most of that applies to Earth here? Imagine it, be it, free, all else realize it, all else are. What people care about for themselves is just as much as what they care about others. Do you see that here? No. You see everything different. You don't need to worry about power. You don't need to worry about yourself only at the expense of somebody else. You don't have to kill to eat, or to kill to live. You don't have to take life in order to expand your own life. Where we come from as star seeds, I'm saying specifically here, those universes, those planets, those lives that we live that were not human, which were very, very imaginative and big and make us feel more connected to the stars, more connected to out there, not here. How much of that do you think applies here? How much of our experience do you think? Because it's not so much the mechanics of it, how it actually works or doesn't work, that matters. It matters that we know it exists. We bring that inspiration here because things can evolve here. And as they evolve here, they evolve there too. Because there's people that do the opposite. Their souls live on earth. This is normal to them. And when they die, they evolve. They go to another planet, and then they're the weirdos on that planet. And they're like, what do you mean? You don't have to do step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or like focus so much, have goals, make alliances, kill to live, eat things. How come you don't have to do that here? And so they struggle where we came from. It's all a matter of perspective. And the greatest thing is, what I'm saying right now might be totally wrong later, or in another realm. And that's okay. I can be wrong, because sometimes being wrong is the most correct you can be. Being wrong is the most right. Do you ever notice the people who are the most right are the most wrong later on?
Maybe it's just a matter of time.
And what is time? Time is the evidence of space. What does space do? It allows for things to be formed, to be created or destroyed. So people say, I don't have time. What they're really saying is, I don't allocate my space with this or that. They're prioritizing the creation or the destruction of other things if they deny you. If you say, hey, I want to go out for coffee, let's reconnect, let's chit chat, I miss your friendship, and they say, I don't have time. They're actually not saying that. They're saying my priorities about what I'm doing or not doing, what I'm involving in or what I'm not involving in, do not include you. So therefore, there's no evidence of that. Not going to be any time, because there's no space for that. If this speaks to you, this is your sign, right here and now. Please share with us your life, your circumstances, your story down below. I'm here to help us distinguish between what is true and what is false for all things spiritual and healing related. For personal sessions and healing programs, please visit skychin.com.